Grand rising to all our investors self out there, man. Thank y'all for tapping into another Monday of the entrepreneurial conversation that we're going to be having today. And today episode that we're going to be talking about for our toolbox topic for today is psychological success, because it's very important to understand, especially as a new entrepreneur, especially in the early stages of entrepreneurship, man. You definitely want to be able to tackle psychological success early, because that's going to go a long way for you and what have you. But before we jump into the topic, you know what time it is. If you are listening or watching this playback on our YouTube channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell, and also hit on that like button so the algorithm know this is a real show. Also, if you are listening to this on our Spotify channel, make sure you hit the follow button so you can be notified when a new episode drops on Spotify. And also, we are now on podup.com. That's podup.com, so you can find entrepreneurial conversation on that. So make your way over there and subscribe to our Pod Up channel, what have you, so you can be notified when a new episode drops on that and what have you. And also make your way over to investflagship.com, so you can be notified. Make your way over there and sign up on our email list so you can be notified when the new site drop and what have you, so you can be caught up to speed, abreast of what goes on within Invest with anything that new drops and what have you, so you can be part of our community and what have you. So that's what it is. And for now, it's time for that segment before I take our commercial break and what have you. New segment for this week for our spotlight news for today. We're gonna going over to Entrepreneur. This article is coming from, once again, from entrepreneur.com. That's entrepreneur.com. So this article that I'm going to be just, giving you a quick up to date of, just running it down to you so you can get a understanding what's going on and what have you, of the article that I found on entrepreneur.com. So basically what it said, let me read the title of it. It said, AI is flooding social media. Here's how to make sure you don't get lost in a robotic noise. So what this article is saying is content now, as you know, is getting flooded online of AI. You know what I'm saying? AI is the new norm, where everybody is going to AI to create their content and what have you. And what this article, I'm going to pretty much sum it up and leave the link to the article in the description so you can read it for yourself. Basically what the article is saying is, do not, lose the authenticity of create content yourself, because you want to continue to keep that human element within your content, especially when you're trying to get people to notice who you are and what have you. You want to have some sense of normalcy. You want to make sure you create that content that's still anchoring core human values and what have you. And that's very important, because I know a lot of times, AI is a quicker way for you to be able to create the content that you want just by putting in a couple words, and they generate the content for you, give you some type of idea and what have you. But at the same time, you do not want to depend on AI, because you don't want to lose that focus or lose that creativity that you do have to create content, right? Because at the same time, when we start depending on other things to create our content, we lose the creativity. That's just like a person that grew up could draw real good, but stop drawing for years, then they try to pick it back up, they're going to be a little bit rusty. Their creativity isn't there no more, because they haven't really exercise their brain or their creativity to continue to create things and what have you. So you don't want to just solely depend on AI. Yes, you can use it, can be a balance of things where you can use AI probably 5-10% of the time when it comes to your content, especially if you don't have time to create content, you need to create something real quick to put online and what have you. Yes, but don't lose the sense of your authenticity of your creativity through AI and what have you, right? So you want to make sure you keep that human element, that values, that makes it more realistic. When people, sometimes people can feel when it comes in from a realistic standpoint that someone created, because when you creating it yourself, you putting yourself into that content. you are putting your heart into that, your content, your passion, and what have you. So you want to make sure that you don't get caught up into just doing just solely AI content. Like I said, it can be a balance of things. It could be something you using AI content, using AI for your content just to create something real quick, but at the same time you're not using it for your main go-to, what have you, when it comes to creating content or what have you. But that is the article, so I'm gonna leave the article in the description so you can see for yourself and read it, and you can get an understanding of what they are talking about. So yeah, make sure you don't get caught up into that wave of AI. And because nowadays, like I said, we seeing a lot of AI content, a lot of content created by AI, and it's not truly authentic to the people that's running across your content and what have you. So make sure you keeping the human element within it. But other than that, guys, you know what time it is. I'm gonna take a quick commercial break, and I'll be right back with that segment we call Quote Me on That, where I read you a quote and I explain to you what the quote means. But other than that, man, make sure y'all tap back into the entrepreneur conversation. Yep. Welcome back to the entrepreneur conversation. Thank y'all for tapping back in. Like I said, today topic we're gonna be talking about is psychological success. But before we jump into the topic, you know what time it is. That segment we call Quote Me on That, where I read you a quote and I explain to you what the quote means. So today quote for all my entrepreneurs out there, my go-getters, people investing in yourself, chasing your dreams, your goals, and what have you. Today quote is, do not become prisoner of self-doubt. So let me say that one more time, just in case you didn't understand it or hear what I said. Today's quote is, do not become prisoner of self-doubt. So the quote basically means is, a lot of times we allow self-doubt to set in because it may be due to results that we're not seeing right away from the work that we put in, or we are measuring where we are we using someone else's success as a measuring stick, and we see that we're not at that point yet, or we allow other people to get in our ear, or we just fall back into an old pattern of looking at ourselves as your old self or who you used to be and what have you, and not recognize you're not that same person no more. You have elevated, you have grown, and what have you. So now you're allowing self-doubt to set in, and you become prisoner of the moment, right? And a lot of times we do that as an entrepreneur, especially entrepreneurship is a journey, right? Like I said, it's entrepreneurship is for those that can really get out here and grind, really can get out here and make something of themselves and endure the hard times, can really muster it through, have tough skin and what have you, because you almost have to develop tough skin as an entrepreneur, because you cannot allow setbacks, you cannot allow failures, you cannot allow anything of that sort to stop you from going as an entrepreneur and what have you. Like I said, entrepreneurship isn't for the weak, right? You definitely have to be strong to be an entrepreneur, because every day is not going to be a sunny day in your journey of entrepreneurship and what have you. So you got to definitely understand, man, do not become the prisoner of the moment of self-doubt. Just don't let self-doubt set in. I know it's easy said than done, but do not allow self-doubt to set in. Always see yourself as the higher version of yourself that you are at right now and what have you. So that's very important to understand that. So that is the quote. That is the segment for today. Quote me on that. Time for us to jump in our toolbox talk for today. So the topic that I'm going to be talking about today, once again, is psychological success. And you got to understand, man, especially as a new entrepreneur, you got to be able to find a way to be able to get some type of psychological success going on, because it's very vital. It's very key coming into entrepreneurship, because you want to be able to come in with an attitude, with a mindset that's going to help you grow as an entrepreneur, right? You gotta, so it's three aspects to psychological success. And the three aspects is embracing challenges, learning from your failures, and also persisting in the face of setbacks and what have you. So these are three important aspects that help you shape a psychological success as an entrepreneur and what have you. So I'm gonna give you some things that fall underneath those three things of aspect far as being an entrepreneur, trying to develop psychological success for yourself as an entrepreneur because it's important. Like I say, a lot of times that I say entrepreneurship isn't for the weak, right? Because a lot of times we think entrepreneurship is something that's going to be easy. It's going to be something easy to conquer. It's going to be something easy to become successful in and what have you until we actually get into it and we find out this is a lot harder than we thought it was, right? But at the end of the day, it becomes easier as you grow as an entrepreneur. I'm not saying because you're growing as an entrepreneur, the rest of your life as an entrepreneur is going to be easy. No, you're still going to have challenges as an established entrepreneur because the challenge is you maintaining your success, you keeping your success, right? So it's going to be a lot of things that goes with being comes with the territory of becoming an entrepreneur or being an entrepreneur and what have you. So that's very important to understand that. So the first aspect of psychological success is embracing challenges because that's one thing that's very important to understand. You have to learn how to embrace challenges as an entrepreneur, right? From a new entrepreneur to establish entrepreneur and what have you. You definitely have to understand, especially as a new entrepreneur in the early stages of entrepreneurship, you definitely have to understand and learn how to embrace challenges, right? Because challenges is going to make you stronger. See, if you're the type of person that never embraces challenges and you run from challenges, then you're not going to be able to become an entrepreneur. You're not going to be able to become a strong entrepreneur because you're going to constantly be running away from the challenge. Because if you run away from a challenge, that doesn't mean a challenge is going to go away. It's going to be right as soon as you turn back around and come right back, it's going to be right there waiting for you. Order for you to make it through and become a strong entrepreneur, you have to embrace that challenge. And things that fall underneath that aspect of psychological success of embracing your challenge is embracing the growth mindset. Because mindset is everything, especially as a new entrepreneur. You have to be able to shape your mindset into a mindset that you are ready to conquer anything that comes towards your way as an entrepreneur. You are ready to put your boots to the ground and put in the work of an entrepreneur, right? Like I said, entrepreneurship isn't for the weak. You have to be able to understand your challenges. And a growth mindset basically means you can view your challenges as an opportunity to learn and develop. And those are two key things as an entrepreneur. You want to be able to learn and you want to be able to develop yourself as an entrepreneur because through learning, you are developing yourself. And you got to understand this is something that is very important because you want to be able to see your setbacks as a learning experience to be able to learn from so you can avoid any other setbacks, right? When you can learn from it, process the situation, analyze the situation, that's going to be better for you as an entrepreneur to be able to get through the challenge, to be able to run through the challenge, right? So you can be able to move forward as an entrepreneur on your journey and what have you, right? And a very important thing is a positive attitude. And this is something I know as a new entrepreneur, it's going to be something hard to be able to keep a positive attitude, especially when you're going through challenges, things is not going your way. You're not seeing results that you were expecting to see and what have you. But if you can maintain a positive attitude, this is going to help you improve. This is going to help you learn because now you are very passionate to see how can you make it through this challenge? You're gonna do things that's gonna help you get through it. You're gonna do things to set yourself up to be able to succeed with the challenge or what have you, right? So developing a growth mindset is one of the things that's very important to do. Another thing that falls underneath embracing challenges is seek support and advice. It's very important to do that. A lot of times we allow our ego and our pride to reach out for help, and that's one of the mistakes that many make. Is you have people that's out here that's willing to help you. You have successful entrepreneurs that already been through what you've been through the bumps in the roads, been through the pitfalls as an entrepreneur and what have you. This is the time for you to be able to reach out, get you a mentor, reach out, get some advice from another entrepreneur that's already been doing this. If you have an entrepreneur, if you have a friend that's an entrepreneur that's successful now, reach out to them so they can show you things, give you advice, give you tools, give you whatever you need to be able to make it easier for you to embrace that challenge and what have you. Sometimes they would help guide you through the challenge so you can be able to make it through and what have you. Because seeking help is a guidance, especially from others that's already experienced what you are now going through, right? Because you have, like I said, you have entrepreneurs within entrepreneurship that's looking to help new entrepreneurs, right? Help navigate you through the difficulties and what have you, because they understand that situations do occur as an entrepreneur, especially when you're trying to build a business, create services and what have you. It's going to be a challenge. So seeking help, getting advice, these are one of the important things that's going to help you as an entrepreneur and what have you. Another thing is focus on problem solving, right? You want to be able to learn how to focus on solving the problem. See, a lot of times we stay focused on the wrong things and not focus on solving the problem, because when you can really focus, now you can be proactive in approaching the situation. Now you can address any issues that occurred, because now you can analyze, you can break it down, you're focused enough where you can be able to see where the problem is. Now you can be able to apply a solution to the problem, because you're not going to be able to, if you're not focused, you're not going to be able to focus on solving the problem. So it goes hand in hand. Focus, once you can focus yourself on what's going on and what have you, it's going to be easy for you to solve the problem so you can be able to beat your challenge, whatever you're going through and what have you. Another thing is celebrate small victories, especially when you make it through a challenge, you beat a challenge and what have you. Celebrate that small victory. I'm not saying that's going to be end all to be all, be overjoyous, and what have you, but celebrate. When you can celebrate the small victories and what have you, guess what? That's going to motivate you even more to be able to beat any other challenges. It's going to even motivate you more to be able to, okay, put things in place to help you if challenges occur and what have you, right? Because things can get tough. Through tough times can beat you up, can make you feel depressed and what have you, make you unmotivated and what have you. But when you can get small victories, can help boost up your morale, can motivate you and what have you. Especially as a new entrepreneur, anytime you can get small victories, celebrate them, because it's going to continue to motivate you to be able to achieve more victories when challenges do occur and what have you, right? So that's very important to understand that. And another thing is learn from your failures, which is going to be the second aspect of psychological success and what have you. So moving on to the other aspect is learning from your failures, right? So we all know what learning from our failures is. You know, learning is basically you want to be able to analyze your mistakes that you made and what have you. Analyzing is one, and the way you analyze your mistakes is you want to be able to break them down in small components, where it makes it easy for you to be able to digest any failure that occurred. Now you can see where you went wrong at. You can see, okay, the other components were correct. It was just this one component that I made a mistake at that caused the failure. Now I can fix it. Now I can correct it, right? Because if you don't understand it and you don't know how to analyze it, you don't know how to break it down, it's going to be very hard for you. But first, you have to reflect on the situation so you can be able to analyze it. Reflect on the situation. Take some time to process the situation. see where you went wrong at, right? See what happened. So this makes it better to understand the root of what caused the failure. Then you can analyze the mistake and you can break it down to components. See, it works hand in hand from that standpoint. You want to reflect on the situation, then that's going to lead to now you can find the root problem that caused the failure, where you can analyze the failure and you can break it down in small components and see what component went wrong when putting together your strategy, putting together your plan for your business and what have you. So that's very important to do that, because when you do things like that, that's going to help you prevent any other mistakes that may occur and what have you. But if any mistakes may occur in the future and what have you, you know how to process it, you know how to break it down, you know how to reflect on the situation. But these things that you're doing early is going to contribute to preventing any similar mistakes that may occur in the future, as an entrepreneur and what have you, right? Another thing that falls underneath learning from your failures is, once again, you want to seek feedback. Seek feedback is, basically, you're seeking feedback from mentors, anybody that may be mentoring you right now, from your peers, your friends, from your family, what have you. Anybody that's within the industry that can give you that feedback from their learning experience of what you're going through, right? So it's always good to get somebody else's perspective of things that's going on, because you might not be able to see the problem, or the mistake that you made. Somebody else may be able to process it and come from another perspective to make you see it in a whole different way, to help you be able to break that mistake down into components, to help you and guide you in the right direction, to help you correct that mistake, and help you build things to put in place to, like I said, prevent any similar mistakes that may happen in the future. So it's always good, especially as a new entrepreneur, to get some type of comprehension of some type of understanding of what went wrong. And like I said, sometimes we may not see it for ourselves where we went wrong at. It may take a mentor, it may take an advisor, it may take a peer, or it may take a family member to help adjust you to what went wrong, of the mistake that you did and what have you. So that's very important to understand that. Another thing that falls underneath is adjust strategy. Sometimes once you learn from the mistake or the failure and what have you, now this is a good time for you to adjust your strategy. Sometimes you have to redefine your strategies. Sometimes you have to do things that's going to help you from making that same mistake. Right now, you help you improve your decision making, the knowledge that you need in order for you to be able to prevent any failures from happening again and what have you. So it's very important to understand that sometimes you have to adjust your strategies, especially as an entrepreneur. As you're moving further along in your journey, sometimes you have to adjust your goals. Sometimes you have to adjust your strategy that comes with it, right? So you always want to be able to stay a step ahead of when you on your journey of entrepreneurship and what have you. So the last element of psychological success is persisting in the face of setbacks. And this is a critical point of success for new entrepreneurs, because you got to understand, you got to be able to have that right mindset when it comes to setbacks, because sometimes we allow setbacks to be the end all be all to if we want to be continue as an entrepreneur or not. So maintaining a positive mindset when you have setbacks is, you want to be able to stay focused on your long-term goals. Yes, it's going to be setbacks, but within them setbacks, you want to keep a positive attitude, right? You want to stay focused on your long-term goals, because that's going to help you and keep you focused on what are you doing this for as an entrepreneur, right? You want to be able to keep a positive attitude. Keeping a positive attitude going to help you continue to move forward. You're going to be able to stay motivated and what have you, because like I said, through setbacks you can be able to learn from the setbacks. You're going to be able to process, and that's another thing on the that falls underneath the persistence of setbacks, is learning from your setbacks. Because a lot of times we like to sit around, we allow the setbacks to now we come we end up becoming depressed, right? Frustrated, upset, and what have you, and we stay in that point of dwelling on where what happened, what caused the failure, and what have you. But you got to look at it like this. You got to look at your setbacks as a learning experience. That goes back to what I said. You want to analyze the setback. Okay, what did I do to cause this setback, right? Now, when you can analyze it, now this can help you um with learning from the setback. Now you can implement the things that you need to help you grow, especially through experience your setback. Now you can be able to grow. You can develop as an entrepreneur, because now you can identify the areas that you need to improve in. Right? It may be something that you didn't know as an entrepreneur. It can be something that you don't have yet, that you haven't developed yet as an entrepreneur, that now you can take the time and work on it, right? So you won't be able to cause yourself any type of setbacks anymore and what have you. So that's very important to understand that. Another thing that falls underneath is set realistic goals. Go back to what I'm saying. You don't want to set goals that's not realistic, because the only thing you're doing is hindering yourself. Only thing you're doing is now you causing yourself to become depressed. You causing yourself to become frustrated, because you setting goals that is not really realistic for a new entrepreneur. Yes, we want to have this great success as a new entrepreneur starting out. Yes, we want to be able to see all this money right away, but that's not a realistic goal. You want to be able to set realistic goals that is going to help you celebrate small victories. Set small goals that's going to see. A lot of times we like to swing for the home run steady, getting hits that's going to land us on base. You got three bases, right? If you can hit the ball and you can get yourself onto first base, now that's a victory that you can celebrate. Okay, I got to first base. Now let me find a way to now work on setting another goal that's going to help me get to second base. And that's, as a baseball term, now you may have to wait for somebody to hit the ball where you can run to second base, or you got to find a way where you can steal the base so you can be able to get to second base and what have you. So you have to, now this is the way where you can create another goal, small goal. Set yourself up for a small victory, to now you setting yourself up with small victories lead to what? Big victories. Setting yourself small goals to achieve set you up to achieving big goals. So it works, like I said, all the time. It works hand to hand. So you don't always have to swing for the home run. Set yourself up for small victories that's going to keep you motivated, going to keep you going. So that's what comes with setting realistic goals, milestones that you now creating for yourself. So you don't want to make yourself, because the thing about it, not only setting yourself up for failure with setting unrealistic goals, now you overwhelming yourself. And when you overwhelm yourself, now that's gonna make you create a setback for yourself and what have you. So you don't want to stress yourself out, man, trying to create goals that's not realistic and what have you. So that's very important. And another thing that falls underneath is to stay persistent. You definitely want to stay persistent, right? Even through trying to overcome your setbacks. Stay persistent, stay going, keep pushing forward, right? Stay committed to your goals, because now you realizing, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is for. Remember that setbacks are a natural part of your entrepreneurial journey. Setbacks going to happen. We all have setbacks, but your setbacks is not the end all to be all. See, some of us take it as the end all to be all. Well, we're not fit for being an entrepreneur. This is not for me. I guess this setback is a universe speaking to me that I never should have done this in the first place. No. That right there goes back to the quote: you are making yourself the prisoner of self-doubt and what have you. So setbacks happen, but at the end of the day, you got to keep pushing forward. You got to keep going. You got to stay persistent. You got to stay committed to your goals. Stay committed to your journey, right? Because by then, once you process the situation, you learn, you know how to problem solve, you know how, and you keep a positive mindset, and you have understanding. This is going to help you. This is going to help you psychologically become successful, right? Psychologically, once you conquer this and you master this, no one can stop you, right? It's no way self-doubt going to set in anything because you got the confidence, you have built the confidence, you motivated to any challenges that may occur, any setbacks, anything that may occur on your journey. You know how to get through them, and you're very confident of doing it. So that is what it is, man. Becoming psychologically successful, man. And that's very important as an entrepreneur, especially a new entrepreneur, man. Become psychologically successful and what have you. So that is the topic. That's the three aspects of psychological success and what have you. So once again, guys, man, make sure you tapping into this every Monday. We have an entrepreneurial conversation, what have you, just throwing you some advice, give you some tools that you can put in your entrepreneurial toolbox and what have you. So that's why I call it toolbox topics, toolbox conversation, toolbox talk, because this is tools that you can use on your entrepreneurial journey and what have you, right? So it's very important that you tap into it every Monday. Like I said, make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you hit that notification bell, and make sure you hit that like button. You can listen to us on Spotify, and now you can listen to us on podup.com. You can find Entrepreneurial Conversation Pod Show on net. It's called Entrepreneurial Conversation Pod Show on Pod Up and what have you. So definitely tap into that. And I may leave the link in the description to the Pod Up one and what have you, in the description to link to the article of entrepreneur from entrepreneur.com and what have you. So very important. Thank y'all for tapping into another show. This is episode number 3. Make sure y'all tap back into this every Monday, guys, man. Thank y'all, man, for tapping in. Yup.